So throughout my life, I've been in a lot of relationships, and you might also be in the same situation as me as well. But during those times where I'm in those multiple relationship with multiple girls, I mean not at the same time, but more on like consecutively, and I don't stop dating another girl, another one, and another one. In total, I would say I have around four or five. I've been with around four or five. And in those relationships, I'm going to be completely honest. I am going through a lot of problems, a lot of very dysfunctional dynamics that turns the relationship down to the path that I don't want it to go to. And if you're watching this video, I know for a fact that you have a lot of problems, especially in that dynamic between you and your partner, between you and your close friends, let's say. Because I mean, this whole channel and this video is in order for you to remove the old attachment when you're in partnership with a woman. But if you are having problems with your close friends, betrayal, or you want to improve your relationship and communication with your parents, and perhaps with yourself as well, and build capacity and self agency, then this video is also for you. Now, again, during those relationships, the times where it was around um, 13, 14, 15, I realized one thing: my patterns keep on showing up, and those patterns were bad. Those patterns were not serving me well. Those patterns were the reason I keep on ending up the relationship and not building a fulfilling and healthy relationship. Now I know for a lot of you, you might be like questioning, okay, Zafaro, I mean, duh, you were still young. Of course, not a lot of high school students will go out of high school and maintain those relationships. Maybe like only 1% of the whole world will do that, right? Yes, but you have to learn that if you keep on repeating the cycle, you will repeat it in your actual relationship that would might have actually potentially become like marriage, right? You might actually get married with the woman that you were with, but because you keep on repeating those behaviors that keeps on, let's say, um, showing keeps on manifesting arguments and conflict. If it keeps on showing up, then you're I mean, obviously you're not going to be able to be with that woman forever because both of you is just going to be tired, right? I mean, it's pretty obvious. So I've had those problems keep on occurring in my relationship 2 3 years ago. And I mean, I just ended mine as well around 2025, basically a year ago, in the middle of that. And then because of that, now I'm doing this work to help you and to help other men and other women as well to do the inner work and actually work through on how to overcome those old attachment that keeps them from actually building a secure foundation for love. Now, in order for you to overcome, let's say, um, always obeying or conforming to those behaviors. Now, for those of you that don't really understand what I'm talking about, is an example of that would be you shutting down in the middle of a conflict. Let's say you're in a conflict with a woman or with your parent or with your close friends. And because conflict is too uncomfortable for you to actually go through and for you to actually talk it out, you might shut down and you might just ignore the person. Anything that the person says, it inputs into your brain and the output is just trash. You're not gaining any clarity from that person. You want to get out of the situation because you think, oh, this is too much. I can't handle this. This is too overwhelming and I want to get out. I've had those problems and experiences a lot of time, right? So I can relate to you. Perhaps another way of how old attachment manifests in adult relationships is when you are in an avoidant and anxious um, dynamic. When person A is avoidant, so they don't want to be very, very close because they're not familiar with closeness. They feel if they are close with person B, then things would be messy and they would feel discomfort. They don't they feel they don't feel comfortable of feeling comfortable with the person, if you get what I mean. If you're feeling comfortable, that means there's affection, there's love, there's connection. They don't want to be too overly connected to them. They don't want to feel that deep connection with the person, or what we can say closeness, or else they will, they're not familiar with it, or else they will feel uncomfortable. Perhaps they will make predictions that the person will eventually pull away, and a lot more possibilities, right? For the anxious one, let's say, the anxious one might see the avoidant person keep on pulling away, keep on not wanting to be in closeness, and the anxious person will try to chase the avoidant person over and over again, being like, don't leave me. I'm afraid that if you leave me, I'm going to suffer. I want you to be close to me all the time, connect with me all the time. Don't give any space, just want to chase. That rhymes, right? Yeah. But anyways, that's the attachment, for example, right? I think a lot of people know, but for people who doesn't know, that's that. And in a few minutes, just briefly, I'm going to show you how to actually overcome the problems, or anytime you feel discomfort within a relationship, that you have to know that it will probably lead you to sabotaging the relationship if you don't respond and you rather react to it. So that's a whole topic about respond and react. That is the ultimate solution to all this. When you respond and not react, that is the solution to you being able to handle things in a way that um, builds a capacity within you, in a way that you feel safe and secure within yourself, in a way that you can hold that discomfort within your body, and then actually respond to it, and actually respond in a way that you would want to respond, instead of reacting, or instead of obeying to a response that would actually lead you to a greater cause. For example, I mean, it is very obvious. If to, um, you want to have boundaries within your relationship, about perhaps physical boundaries or mental boundaries, or if, let's say, your woman needs to rant about her whole day and how she was treated badly by her boss if she's in work, or how she is in a mental discomfort, or she went through the day not in a good way. And then person A, which is yourself, you've also been very exhausted because you've worked throughout your day, and like you really don't have any capacity to actually hold her and give reassurance to her, and give um and feel and empathize with her, right? You don't have the time for that. You don't have the feeling or the capacity to do that to her. So if you react to it, you will just confirm to whatever she says that discomfort in your um what is it, just discomfort inside you, like you know that you cannot respond to it, but you just obey to it, and you're like, you know what, I don't care about myself, I care about my wife or my partner, and I'm just gonna, conform to whatever my body says, and listen to what my partner says, and hopefully pray for the good. of her. But then the other part of you also wants to just relax because you're tired, right? He wants to relax. He wants to uh, just wind down, man, and just rest. But your body wants to respond because you don't want to make mistakes. You want to be the best man for your partner, right? But that's the thing. If you cannot hold boundaries, then what it would lead to is that your body will say, "Okay, that's enough. I'm exhausted. You know what? I'm gonna just ignore and just shut down." You're not gonna be present for her, man. It's like you're gonna be there, but you feel numb. You don't feel present. You feel like you are not listening to her. Again, whatever input, the output goes to the trash. So, in order for you to actually overcome this problem, specifically this if you are going through, is to hold boundaries, is to respond to it and not react to it. There's no urgency for you to conform to your feelings or conform to your belief that you have to be there for her when you are just very exhausted throughout the day, right? The thing you can do is to actually hold boundary. I'm sorry. I really want to hear your words and your worries and your just things that are burdening, things that have burdened you today. But I don't think I have the space for that because I'm scared if you tell me no and I actually listen to you, I'm not going to be able to give you the reassurance and hold you and embrace you in my arms and hold space for you in order for you to actually let out the things that are stuck in your head because I'm not going to be present. That's what you want to say to her. But I know saying that is also scary because you feel discomfort. You feel uncomfortable to say that. You feel uncomfortable to hold boundaries with your partner. Now, that's an example of how we respond and not react. But a lot of people fail. They fail to do this. Why? Because they are not listening to their body, right? I failed to do this a lot of times. I'm not saying that I will consistently not fail. I'm not saying that I'm flawless at all as well. But what I'm saying is that we can change this. We can fix this. We can go through life without needing to undergo these type of situations where we cannot just handle it properly. Because you know that if you keep on doing this, you will keep on building a relationship that is out that is beyond and out of your expectation, out of what you actually want the relationship to be like. That's my problem. That's your problem. And we can fix this, man. Or woman, right? If you're a woman watching this, then that's also great. But what I'm telling you now is that a lot of people struggle to respond and react. And I see that and I hear that and I listen to that as well. One thing that I can tell you and what I learned is that when you are reacting, you just don't care about the sensations or the feelings that are going through your head and your body, right? What are some bodily sensations? Things like headache, things like tension in your back, things like abdominal pain, things like heartbeat raising, and mentally, they are like just yeah. Well, headache is one of them, right? Dizziness, um, fever is also a thing. It's like some kind of positive feedback loop. You know what I mean? You know the um, positive feedback, negative feedback, and you have to go back to equilibrium, right? At the times where you are actually reacting, you're in that positive feedback and you have to go to equilibrium, or you have to give it a negative feedback again. And in equilibrium, that's when you can respond and not react. And in order for you to initiate that negative feedback, because it happens manually, not like environments or something, right? It happens manually. You really have to pause, sit back, and actually observe your bodily sensations. Okay, let's say when you're in a conflict, when you feel bad about not, um, what is it, about not conforming, about you feel bad about your woman and that you have to listen to her problems throughout that day. You want to pause for a second. Okay, what is my body feeling right now? Does my heart, is my heart beat raising? Do I feel some sort of do I feel sweaty? Do I feel some sort of abdominal discomfort? What tension am I feeling in my body, right? And you want to observe it. You want to just notice it. Okay, I'm feeling like this. And in order for you to actually not do that and to overcome those feelings, is to breathe for a second. You can do some kind of this exercise of inhaling, but then you want to exhale longer. So it's basically short inhale and lengthening the exhale. Doing this will bring a message, or convey a message to your nervous system that the situation is safe and urgency is not uh urgency is not needed to be what is it to be you don't have to respond to that urgency. You don't have to react to that urgency right now, right? Because if you're reacting to that urgency, that means you're just, you know, moving through life without like ever thinking what your body's trying to tell you. You're just thinking what your mind is trying to tell you, right? In this work, you really have to think on how your body handles it. You have to think, okay, how does my body, what message is my body trying to tell me? And then you just look at it, and then you notice in discomfort, and you think, okay, what person do I want to be right now? Like, of course, you have a goal to not react, right? Specifically, how do you want to respond? Because after you do that breathing, that pausing, and holding space for yourself that is in discomfort, then, only then, after that, you have to know how to respond. You have to learn through corrective experience. So, again, instead of conforming to your body, instead of just listening to your inner voices and overthinking, instead of doing all that, listen to your body, observe it. Okay, I have tension, I have this. What am I going to do next? You know what? I'm going to tell the person that I can't do it right now. You know what? I'm actually going to say the truth that I'm not available right now, and I'm going to catch up to the person the next day, or in a couple hours, or in a couple minutes. Or I'm going to tell the person, oh, I'm sorry, I can't right now because I'm busy. I don't have time. I'm unavailable right now. I'm going to catch up to you after I'm done with my work. But then after that, you actually have to go with it. You know what I mean? You don't want to just say those as an excuse because you feel uncomfortable. Bro, I cannot say uncomfortable. And then you just, ignore the person. No, you don't want to do that. That's just fearing the unknown, right? Anything that you go deep inside that is very sensitive, especially when you're in a relationship with someone, exposes all the things that are vulnerable, all the things that are very sensitive, exposes everything. Those are the unknown. When what happens next might lead to a breakup or some kind of a pain or discomfort within your body that you actually want to get out of and just exit, or it can actually lead to a greater cause, to a better one, to something that is much more fulfilling. You can foster a healthy relationship. Now you are more deeply in love with each other, perhaps. Things can go both ways, and that's life. And you just gotta move on with it. Okay? So, again, besides the point, just right, hold space, breathe, you wanna pause, and then you wanna respond afterward. You will make mistakes. I'm not saying you won't. It's not gonna be like an overnight success, no. But you will see changes and you will feel it. All right. I hope this was a very valuable video for you, and stay tuned for another one. Comment down below perhaps what other questions that you might want me to answer. If you want some kind of coaching and more personalized problem that you're going through in your life, whether it is with your habits or with your close friends, with relationships, whatever it is, I will help you build the capacity and have self agency and control over yourself. You can DM me at Zufaro Descent in my Instagram. I'll put a link. I'll put my name, my tag down below, so you can just copy and paste it into your web browser. I'll see you in another video. Goodbye, traveler.